And we return to where it all began. We start season 2 as head coach of the Auburn Tigers, and we start on the road here in Alabama, Birmingham. Our former offensive coordinator took over our coaching duties as we left to brighter pastures, and now we return to see if we can still hold true to being the better coach. We take on what was a very familiar foe with a brand new team. Let's see if they can build on what they did last year with the attack of Brian Blair and Maurice Gonzalez. They were very successful, but now things are a bit different. And we get to see what our team's fully capable of. Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of NCAA football. We're starting here with our second season. Already losing the coin toss, so hopefully we don't get upset here. But we've got a lot of talent on this field. We've got a lot of veteran players who are looking to make a difference, as well as a lot of young guns who are looking to prove themselves. So, taking snaps for us is Mike Finley, handing off to Andrew DeAngelis. And he gets us a 5-yard gain to start off. Now we know all too well that this is right where UAB wants us, with the tandem team of Parks and James. So we need to make sure that we don't fall victim to what we did to many teams. Mike Finley's able to get the ball off, but it's not a completion, and with that we go 3 and out. This is not the way we want to start the game. Now we'll have to see if they build on what we gave them before. But they look to be a power running team behind the capability of Brian Blair. And we shut that down in the backfield. Already get him moving backwards. Lonnie Larson on the tackle for loss. We hit Muller off the crossing route, and he ends up getting us a 12-yard gain as well. Lee Muller on the play. He looks to be a good safety net for us, and we'll have to make sure we keep trying to feature him. Now we're going to try to come back with a bit of a running game and see where that takes us. Michael James makes the tackle, but not before Andrew DeAngelis gets a 7-yard gain for us and sets up second down and short. We're going to see if we can hit our star wide receiver Lee here on the comeback. Hopefully we'll have enough time to throw it. And we throw it a little early, and Malik Pollard gets the swat down. It's good to see a lot of our familiar faces here still making plays. Even though they are our opponent, we do like to see that they're having success. We'll throw it to Scott on the check down to avoid the sack. And we get down to 1st and 10 at the 10. So now we have a couple of options. I want to see here if we can run a bit of play action just to get them moving a bit. We still yet to fully establish a running identity, so it may not be as effective. But we hit Lee for the 10-yard completion, and they ruled that he was not in the end zone. So it's going to be 2nd and inches on the 1-yard line, probably more like the inch-yard line. So let's see if we can flex some of that SEC power with our offensive line and just power it right in for a touchdown. And there we go, Andrew DeAngelis for the touchdown run to cap off the drive. Hopefully going to be the first of many, but we take the early lead, 7-0. Let's run a blitz here just to see if we can overwhelm them. We need some of our defensive linemen to start showing up. And just like that, when I beg for them, the blitz comes through. Lonnie Larson on the sack. We're going to see if we can keep the passing game moving. If we can't establish a passing game against these guys, then we'll struggle to do it throughout the year. So we hit McFarland. Snuck it right in there for an 18-yard gain, right where the blitz was coming from. Now, we do know our kicker is fairly inexperienced and has a little bit of a weak foot, so we'll have to keep that in mind and not take the sack there. Jeez. The sack gets through, and now it's going to be 4th and 14, and that's going to, or 4th and 13, and that's going to take us out of field goal range. So rather than try to kick a field goal here, I'm going to end up going for it. We're going to have to make sure that someone breaks free. Like that. We'll hit Muller, our safety net, for the 23-yard gain and to fix my error. And now we're at 1st and goal on the 2. It was a great play and a great find by Mike Finley. And there we go. Rinse and repeat. Andrew DeAngelis for another rushing touchdown. And just like that, he has 2 on the year. And here we go. This is going to be a big time down. Let's see if they get the ball off before the end of the quarter. Yes, they do. And they hit Richards. Our corner got a little lax there, and that's going to end the first quarter. So we've dominated this first quarter. Struggled a bit at first, but now we've really found our offensive foothold. And our defense has been holding pretty strong. But now that they have gotten a little breathing room, let's see if we can hold on. And Maurice Gonzalez is able to slither his way through and get an 8-yard gain to make it 3rd and manageable. We really needed to stop him there. Now we're going to see Brian Blair hit up the middle. He's able to get the first down, even though we put a couple of hands on him. And with just like that, they are inside the red zone. Any momentum our defense had is now gone. We need to make sure that we at least hold them to a field goal here. We get him down, but not before he gets 6 yards on the gain. Now it's going to be 2nd and 4, and they're slowly inching their way in. And Maurice throws it away to make it 3rd and 4 and live to another down. We need to see if we can apply a little bit more pressure. Otherwise, they can try to pick us apart. We're going to see if our secondary can hold quickly. Oh, and we user Pickett. And he's running free. Not a person in sight. He could go all the way. Touchdown, Auburn! Breaking the NCAA record for longest interception touchdown. Jason Randall, our free safety, running that all the way back and killing any momentum UAB had. That's just what our defense needed. Well, now with our defense back on the field again after that really energizing pick 6, they have to see what they can change now to get a little bit of offensive wiggle room. And our star corner Neal on the play to bat out the completion when it looked all but secured. He's going to make it 2nd and long. What a play. Our offense gets to take the field here. We're going to look to see if we can establish a little bit more of our passing game. We hit Muller under the middle, or in the underneath, for a 12-yard gain and to make it 1st down and 10 again. Let's come back now and hit a little bit of a running game here. Andrew DeAngelis weaving and juking his way through to get an 8-yard gain on first down to make it 2nd and 2. Now let's see, we're up 3 scores. If we can fit something a little downfield, we do have the opportunity here, and if not, we can just tuck it with Mike Finley. He's perfectly capable as a runner. And it's not there, so instead we'll dump it down to DeAngelis. He's not able to break the tackle, so he'll just get a 4-yard gain on the play. But he did get the first down. Now we're going to come back with a play action and see if they bite on it. Andrew's been a little banged up, so we get to see our backup running back, Scott. And we find Black streaking wide open for a 40-yard gain and a passing touchdown. They bit on the run play, and we hit him where it hurts. Gonna run our favorite play for 3rd down and get a screen going. Getting Andrew DeAngelis in the open space should be very useful. Oh, and just like that, he breaks it open on the outside, getting a huge gain on 3rd down to push the chains. He wasn't able to get outside, but that is a good thing. It allows us to get a little bit more time off the clock. Scott takes it to the outside and steps out of bounds to make it 2nd and 2. Mike Scott is a really good complement to Andrew DeAngelis, kind of being the thunder and lightning that we're looking to establish. Let's see if we can get him as involved as Jared White was. He pushes ahead to get us the first down. It's not going to stop the clock other than for the first down, but that's okay. We just need to burn a little bit more time off the clock to be in a bit of a comfortable position. Now we're going to run the counter here to the wide side of the field with our man. And he cuts it upfield. And he doesn't quite get it in. He gets it all the way down to about the 2-yard line. But it seems like once you get him loose in the open field, it's going to be really hard to take him down. We'll run the weak side option here and see if we can catch Mr. Parks in a decision that is much more fortunate for us. We're going to let the clock run all the way down just to take all that precious time off the clock. Just because we don't want a quick score. Mike Finley will take it in himself to get the 2-yard touchdown run and to put an exclamation point on it. We're going to show an overload here on the right side. He throws it to Eric Hall for the bailout, and it's not going to be successful. It's going to be 3rd and 10. And with that, they're content to just let the clock run down. You might get one more prayer off here, but likely this is going to be how it ends. And we're unable to pick the ball off, and they're unable to complete it. So just like that, at the end of the 2nd quarter, we had an offensive and defensive explosion, jumping out to a 5-score lead and pitching a shutout. Let's see what this second half holds. And we get through on a sack. There's a new... No, it was Lonnie Larson again. He's had 3 sacks on the day. He seems to be really emerging as our leader on the defensive line. And with a big return, we set up our offense. And we've decided to sit Mike Finley. We'd like to build that offensive chemistry, but in the same breath, just because we're playing Mike Finley at starting quarterback doesn't mean that it's guaranteed to be his. Jermaine Johnson's going to put up a bit of a fight, and so we might feature them both in the offense. Jermaine Johnson is kind of more of our run threat quarterback. He has more ability to make more ability to make a play with his feet. But we're going to kind of feature both, as they both have good balances for us, and it really helps us depending on the game plan that we're really going to try to go for. And Jermaine Johnson breaks free on the huge run, 33 yards, to put his stamp on this game. And just like that, it looks like we have two capable signal callers. Now, in a game time situation, we're going to test Jermaine Johnson's ability to throw the ball. We're not just going to force him into deep ball passes. Instead, we're going to test his ability by trying to work the way down the field. Starts with a dump-off pass to Rocky Lee, our star wide receiver. Get him in open field for a 7-yard gain. And just like that, it's going to be 2nd and 3. Now we're going to run the bootleg with him. He gives us the ability to really move around in the pocket. They send the blitz, so we'll throw Muller a ball in the flats and get a 9-yard gain. And now, being ahead of the chains, we're going to take the deep ball here. Or at least we're going to try to. See if anyone can break free. We hit Merrick running down the sideline. And just like that, he pushes his way in for the touchdown. Jermaine Johnson goes 4 for 4 on that drive with 61 yards in the air. And here are the plays we really get to evaluate our quarterback. It's 3rd and 5, and we're basically at the red zone. We really need to convert here because our punter is our best kicker. So let's see what we can come up with here. We fit it in to Rocky Lee and convert on 3rd down. It was a nice crisp throw into an open passing lane, and just like that, we are cooking. Let's run a traditional option here instead of a read option. Let's see what happens. We're going to have an early pitch with Parks here. Oh, and it gets stuffed, and we turn over the ball. Not quite on Jermaine Johnson. We tried to get a little fancy there and do something that we haven't really done. But with that, we put our defense back on the field. We're going to see if we can hit Rocky Lee here on the outside. Just like that, we do. Jermaine Johnson stays in the pocket. Rocky Lee shakes off defender after defender. Not able to stay in bounds, but gets all the way down to the 3. And just like that, it's the end of 3. Our defense has continued to hold strong, and our backup quarterback is making a big push to try to be the starter. Let's see what happens here to end the 4th quarter, just to see if we can kind of figure out some things before we go into conference play. But we get to start here in a 1st and goal. We'd really like to convert here before we start calling off the dogs. But let's see if we can get them to bite on this play action. We do. We'll hit Muller over the middle. And just like that, we score 56 points in just over 3 quarters. I think it's about time to start calling off the dogs. Okay, 3rd and 2 with our 2nd team unit in here. And I pulled Jermaine Johnson in favor of Dubinsky here. He's just going to be our kind of cleanup guy. But Scott here is going to punch it all the way in for a touchdown. Score our 7th. Math is hard, apparently. 7th touchdown of the day. We had a drive there to burn 5 minutes off the clock, and that should be it. And that's going to do it. We come in with a brand new team into familiar territory, and we dominate. Looks like UAB is going to take a step back from where they were as they really try to find what they can do on offense. But we had a dominating day behind the arms of Jermaine Johnson and Will Finley. Jermaine Johnson ends up getting player of the game, being perfect in the air and establishing a really good ground game. giving us a really good opportunity to believe that he may be our starting quarterback going forward. But with that, we start our season off strong, 1-0. With that, we need to turn our focus to a neutral site kickoff game against Boston College. So that's going to be fun, a good SEC-ACC battle. But let's go over our team stats first. 23 first downs on the day, giving up 11. It didn't feel like it was 11, but we did give up 11. 533 yards of total offense with 244 in the air and 244 on the ground, 289 in the air. 71% from third down needs to be a little bit higher. Also in the red zone needs to be a little bit higher, but you also have to take off one possession there from us just kneeling the ball. The fumble was an easy to explain fumble, and so that should be easily taken out. And then we dominated in time of possession. And also, this interception here really killed their ability to come back in this game. So overall, I think it was a really successful game. And so, after that dominating win, we position ourselves well in the SEC West. It's going to be an arms race here, especially with teams like A&M and Arkansas not having played yet. And Bama did manage to hold on against West Virginia, but as you can see, it was a pretty close game. But, as I alluded to just a minute or two ago, now we get to play Boston College, our first ranked matchup of the year, and it's going to be neutral site. So you're going to want to be there for that. I'd like to thank you all for watching. Please leave a like, comment, and subscribe because it helps me out so much more than you know. And see you back here next time for our first big time game of the year.